Britain's favourite crisps. Welcome to Mark and Pete, two blokes with plenty of opinions. Well, here's a thought.
Crisp and to the point. A cheesy dip upon the lip, or a crisp to munch for lunch. Piles on the hip as your trousers rip, and your stomach starts to crunch. Mmm, too many crisps, but yum yum. I like them. Now, interestingly, British adults have identified themselves as a nation of crisp eaters. Well, that's according to Walker's Crisps. Well, not surprising, one of the biggest manufacturers in the land. But which is our really favourite crisp? Well, I ask you, Mr. Pete, tell me, what is your favourite crisp and why?
Well, Mr. Mark, from our childhood, which we were together at school, so you may remember some of this. You did used to like, particularly when I was young, the Golden Wonder crisps when
yummy.
they first came out. They were actually golden.
Yes, that's
they
true.
had a
They
certain
glowed.
flavour. I mean, they changed to be like normal crisps, but
Yes.
they had some sort of colouring on them. But when it came to actual favourite flavour, etc., crisps, it was always one particular flavour of Walker's crisps.
Oh, okay.
Smoky bacon Walker's
Oh,
crisps.
yes.
I'm sure people's mouths are watering it, even as I say it.
Yes. So, well, I don't mind Walker's Crisps. And in fact, I'm just going to give everybody a little bit of history on my experience with Walker's Crisps. Yes, when I used to have pocket money, I used to be able to buy a packet of Walker's Crisps for 1.5 pence. I thought that was a lot of money then.
Yes.
And what I would typically go for was the cheese and onion. Now, I will say, and I know that you would know my experience of Walker's Crisps here, that I was
Yes.
always very disappointed in public houses. Those are the pubs that you would have all the way around the
Yes.
country. Why?
When we were a bit older.
Yeah, because, well, not always, but let's not go into that one, folks. However, it was the lack of prawn flavored crisps. I used to love that, but for some
Cool cocktail,
reason, it
yeah.
wasn't the most popular, and I don't know why that is. But you seem to like the more sort of ham or bacony flavored crisps.
Yes. Here's the thing. Smoky bacon were my favourite in that I thought they were the best. So I
Yes.
like to save them for special occasions. And I would normally have, say, beef, sometimes cheese and onion. But yes, the beef flavoured crisps were strong flavours, so they went well when you were drinking alcoholic drinks. But in terms of texture, things like the McCoy's crinkle cut crisps.
Oh, lovely.
And you can put them in a sandwich and make it crunchy. Say in a cheese and pickle sandwich, you put your crinkle cut crisps in there from McCoy's, and nice and crunchy, and with a delicious flavour. I mean, sadly they're not sponsors of the show, but maybe
Not yet. Well, here's a little technique. So yes, definitely in a sandwich, but I'm sure many people will have done this both as an adult and as a child. I always used to like sticking the little hula hoops on my fingers
Yes, hula hoops. I forgot about that.
and nibbling them throughout the day. Because the reason being is you could go out and play football while still crunching and munching on a hula hoop. Because you see, you could just have like one little finger bit. You see, it was like a little ring on your finger, and then you could just sort of because actually holding the entire pack was always difficult. I found. But no, there is something that we're going to get to, which is what is the nation's favourite crisps. But before we do that, I do want to mention there is one particular flavour and a particular brand that does not exist anymore, and I'm devastated.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, what many people are thinking, what on earth could that be? And of course, it is Brannigan's crisps. Now, at one time, they were advertised in the in the 1990s on the television.
Yeah, they were on telly and everything. Yeah,
absolutely, they were everywhere. The point of sale was very prominent in the retail stores. But here's the thing: I used to eat one of those packets of crisps every day, and my favourite was the ham and mustard. Now, the first time I ever used to actually tried one of these things, it virtually blew my socks off. I remember having a streaming nose afterwards because of this strong and powerful flavour. Now, maybe that's probably why it didn't appeal to everybody, but it did to me. But I wish that maybe as a campaign we should reinstate them.
Yes,
because I think strong flavours is something
bring back
that we like.
Flanagan's crisps, or at least strong
Yes.
flavours. Yes, of course, the more subtle flavours like sweet chili are available now.
Oh
which are
yes,
really
good,
nice.
good, good. Yes.
But it's interesting because obviously it's a very competitive market now, the crisp market. But it's it's gradually introduced into Britain. I mean, it started in America. The crisps as a product started in America.
Yes,
1853.
now you have a crumb of thought there, don't you?
Yes, George Crumb. You're right. Yes, chef in New York, 1853. He had customers, particularly one very picky customer, kept sending back the fried potatoes he was giving, saying they were too big. So he sliced them, too thin,
chunky,
paper thin, fried them until golden, and added a sprinkle of salt. And the result, crisps were born.
Yes.
And the world's love affair with chips, as they call them in America, but crisps over here, was born. But the crisp didn't stay in America. In the 1920s, a man called Frank Smith was making them in his London garage and then selling bags of crisps with a twist of salt wrapped in greaseproof paper separately.
Crisps, yes.
Yeah, and his idea caught on, and that was the brand for many years, Smith's Crisps, and they brought back later on the separate packet of salt as a gimmick. But in post-War II Britain, a butcher named Henry Walker entered the crisp game.
Good old Henry.
What?
Good old Henry.
He transformed his Leicester-based business into his butcher's business into producing crisps. So Walker's Crisps, I mentioned Walker's as one of my favourite. It has the cheese and onions, salt and vinegar, and smoky bacon. All were Walker's Crisps flavours. And then in the 60s and 70s, you saw the introduction apparently of prawn cocktail crisps. Right. That's when they were introduced. And these days,
just for my benefit.
There's loads of flavours and there's different textures. They can be crunchy, crinkled, kettle cooked, whatever. Yes. And so they're here to stay. It says they're sort of like a cultural phenomenon. It's a very British thing. I mean, when I went and stayed in Singapore to work there for a little bit. On one occasion, I managed to get hold of a sandwich and some crisps and sat and ate them at a bench in the middle of the place I was eating. And one of the women who worked there said, "Yes, I can see you feel at home now, a touch of home. Now you've managed to eat your sandwich and crisps." And not, they hold these freshly cooked noodle dishes and whatever. But I was much happy with the sandwich and crisps. That's the British culture.
Yes, well, not only that, I always like that's a little serendipitous moment where you got that extra bit of squirty flavour on the edge of the crisp, where on the production line it just gave you a little bit of a clump of flavouring. I don't know whether those things still happen, but I always used to look out for those. But here's the thing. Now, what do you think is the UK's Britain's nation's favourite crisp brand? So let's start with that.
Brand. Well, come on, it's with all the advertising they have, with Gary Lineker, no less,
for the last
football pundit, advertising them for many years. It's got to be Walker's Crisps. I can't believe anything else.
Indeed, it's Walker's, yes. So that is absolutely right. Now, I suppose you're going to go for the smoky bacon.
Smoky bacon's...
Well, I'm going to go for the prawn cocktail, but I do like certainly a salt and vinegar. I don't think that's something that you quite like.
Prawn cocktail was seen to be, by your general masses, as being quite upmarket, I guess. It's something you'd have in a restaurant, a prawn cocktail, as a starter. And so when that was introduced,
yes,
I guess that was the idea, bring them.
So what do you think is the number 2 brand then?
Well, I don't think Smith's have really got it anymore, so I'm going to go for McCoy's with their nice thick crisps.
No, they're actually number 10.
Oh my goodness.
Now, I'm going to give you a clue. They actually have been advertising quite significantly, and they play on the historical thing of crisps. They go back to the farming side of.
I'm going to say, what's that? It's like the golfing jumper, isn't it? Pringles.
Well, no, Pringles are very much in favour. They're number 5. And incidentally, folks, breaking news, Mars. Yes, the chocolate manufacturer is due to buy Pringles. Goodness me, I wonder what will happen to to them
Chocolate
over time. Will they end up with
crisps?
chocolate all over them?
No,
Look out
I'm
for
running
that
out
one.
of names that
I'm not
are
so sure
obviously
that's
not Brannigan's.
I'm going to say let's stick to the savoury, please, Mars. Whatever you do.
Yes.
But no, it's Tyrrell's. And
Oh,
Tyrrell's, they have come out with a clever campaign of terribly British.
Yes,
So
very
the idea
good,
being
yes.
is that they're playing on the heritage. What do you think is number 3?
I'm beginning to run out of names. Was there something called Frisps or something?
No. Well, here's the thing. It's Kettle
What's it?
Crisps.
What's
Kettle
it?
Crisps.
Oh,
So
Kettle
these
Crisps.
are specially infused, richer, packed with a lot of fat, folks. But so don't eat too many. But Doritos, number
Yes, I forgot
4,
about those.
Pringles
Yeah.
number 5, Seabrook is 6, Hula Hoops are 7, good for them. Now, what do you think is 8? Now, I will give you a clue. I used to eat a lot of these when I was young, and they would typically, the one that I liked was the onion flavour. Now, I will say, I think it's more of a
Monster
puff crisp.
Munch.
Monster
Monster
Munch. Well,
Yes.
there, my goodness.
Yes,
Now,
I know that.
ironically, Sensations by Walkers is number 9, and number 10 is McCoy's. Now, of course, what sits outside of that? Well, who cares? Because we probably like them anyway. The fact is that it's interesting, isn't it? Now, what can you do with a crisp? I think you mentioned about having it in a sandwich.
Yes.
But
yes.
here's the thing.
Adding to
I
the
think that
sandwich,
Doritos has really captured a thought here about actually having it as a dip.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you think about
Well, you dip it into something.
you dip it into some kind of mayonnaise or substance. I mean, that's a very simple idea, but it's a communal idea. You could put it on the table, put some dip out, and then people will help themselves. But what else could you do with a crisp? I mean, I think that why not mix it in with a salad? I mean, you
Add a
could
bit
actually
of
sort
texture,
of,
yes.
or just actually had to bring the salad to life with
But
with
I
prawn
think
cocktail crisps.
that's true, but I think the classic thing, you go to the pub, you have your pint of beer or wine or whatever it is, and you have with
Yes.
it a pack of crisps. You open the pack of crisps completely so they're flat on the table, and then
Yes.
people can all help themselves. It's,
2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps.
yes, that's right. It is part of British culture to have these crisps, as I mentioned earlier. So I think they should be recognised as such. It's like British cuisine, isn't it?
Yes, I think to be honest, I think everybody in the nation should be given a free packet of crisps every birthday. I mean,
Yes.
that would be a great gesture, wouldn't it?
That
Keir
would be
Starmer?
great as an election pledge. That would be great.
Yeah.
Well, as you're chomping on your crisps, gentle listener, don't forget to subscribe to Mark and Beat for more fascinating facts and opinions coming up. But for Mark and myself for this week, it's goodbye.